Hello everybody and welcome back. I've been sitting watching my computer for the last couple of hours already. It is right now 4 p.m. I woke up I think at like 9 p.m. And tonight, man, I could not sleep. I could not sleep at all because I kept watching the charts and I kept and even when I put the phone away, it just had me awake. And I don't let my emotions rule my trading or my judgment, but it did have me in my feelings when I look at that portfolio. I just keep thinking about what it could have been, what it is going to be, and stuff like that. So it's really messing me up. But before we get further into the price, make sure you press the like button because we're still giving away 100 XRP if we can get 1,000 likes on one video. So make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below, as that is all you need to do to enter into the giveaway. Having said that, prices are still looking good, and I find it rather interesting that we explained the zone yesterday in one of the videos and the exact point, which was most likely going to be some heavy resistance, and it played out rather nicely. I'm even a little bit surprised. I have not changed anything with this in the last, I don't know when I made the last video, like maybe 20 hours ago or so. It's rather interesting to see how this has gone on here. Pretty perfect to our initial idea. So what I'm thinking when I'm looking at this is two specific things. One, our prediction was quite accurate with this zone here being kind of an indeterminate zone where it's like anything can still happen. And us going out at the top here was a test for the 50-cent resistance, which was going to be a heavy one. We all knew it. It was a 50-50 bet. As we all know, it was not too much retail investors that are hopping on in, but also the optimism, and because of market cycles like we explained, there was still a good chance that because this is such unprecedented territory we have not seen in years, that the bulls were going to persuade that level, and maybe the bears decided to, I guess, defend the heavy psychological barrier because all the retail guys that are there might actually want to, I guess, go and do something at that point. However, what I'm thinking is we decided to push on forward, right? And it just breached the fib level here. It just breached, and we were definitely looking to head towards the next level as there's not that much resistance in the midst except for 50. But again, the psychological barrier held us back and we fell back down, but we only fell back down to the end of the zone, but just a teeny little bit below that. And on the daily chart, it's actually a little bit more obvious to see. And what I've kind of guessed here is that I think the zone might have not been perfectly accurate. It might have had to been a little bit down lower, a little bit higher. I didn't put enough effort into fact check that. But what we do know, as we've explained yesterday, is that there's also a chance that we might go just below it, where they are trying to catch our stop losses. They're trying to make us sell to have less pressure. You guys get how that works? So logically speaking, if everybody was looking at this same zone and we would be like, okay, if we breach down below it, we're going to sell our position, or we are afraid of a pullback to maybe 33 cents, then logically speaking, you're going to sell somewhere right around here, or maybe even short, so you can take the trip to 33 cents, right? And if you think we need to go outside of the zone, you're logically speaking going to put your stop loss a little bit below the zone. Now, again, we might argue over how far you're going to put your stop loss, but maybe somewhere here you've put your stop loss. I don't really know where exactly you wanted to put it. It just depends a little bit on your own strategy. But it could have been, let's say, about maybe 2%, maybe 3% below it. Some people do it 1% below it, though. It just depends. And yeah, maybe some people have also just placed it at the bottom of this layer right there. And then what these guys tried to do, what the bears tried to do, is just shake them out, right? Just go a little bit below there, so a lot of the people that had their stop loss sold their position, and then, again, the price, of course, gets shoved back up, but a lot of people lose their money, means less resistance for the bears, which means, again, less support for us, bulls. It's an interesting one to think about, but also considering what the RSI is doing here, I've been checking out a lot of different analysts and what they think about all this crypto price and all that's happening and going on. But this one was kind of interesting. It comes from Trading Guru. He said, looking at these last 3 runs where the RSI reached above the 80 level, you would say it is impossible for XRP to USD to keep rising. Every major surge in price for XRP has resulted in a sharp drop-off directly after historically. You can see it happened 3 times, but we do still see a pretty big gap until the first horizontal resistance. It's true that the price has already increased by 75%. Basically here, what we're going to see, at least what we're kind of looking like, is we've already breached this resistance that we had before, that we were talking about before, so we're kind of in a new area, and we're looking at a new resistance, so it's looking rather different than what we saw the last couple of times, and thus, again, maybe this last thing does not have to unfold the same manner. Look at what happened here in terms of price. Look at how far we went. All right, a lot of these guys were predicting us to fall back down, but it didn't. It didn't at all. Where did it get to? About right there, just within the resistance zone. Perfectly played out. And yeah, those are some crazy gains if you start to really think about it. Let me actually briefly check how much you could have made if we started at the beginning of the zone. I can press shift to do this, but my shift doesn't always work properly here. Within the night here, it could have been an easy 17-19% trade or so. That's again from the midst of our level. If you were to take the bet that we would go either above it, okay, listen to me on this one, right? There's one trade you could have taken, and that is you predict that I said we're going to stay within this zone. So there's 2 main scenarios. 1, we're going to break out and continue on towards the next resistance, or 2, we're going to fall below it and go towards the next big support. Might be another support, a small one here, but the big one is at 33 cents. So you could have taken the bet from, all right, we've gotten within the zone now, I'm going to take it up all the way till this next resistance, which in this case played out. Again, I didn't even take that trade because I didn't know it was going to work that way, but it could have been something we could have done, right? I'm just hypothetically speaking here in hindsight to see what we're going to do next time. And then you could have even taken this trade downwards again to about the zone or something like that, since you thought we were going to bounce back from this possibly, or even stay within it, something like that. You could have taken that to maybe get yourself a nice little percentage. Could have. But you could have also done, I guess, 2 other things. One is from within this zone, short it and get yourself to the bottom, which is only a 4%. You could have done that, would have worked as well. Or another one is just get yourself to the top of this one, which could have worked. There's a multitude of things, right? And even if you took the trade upwards, your stop loss would have been most likely just below this here, which could have again been deleted by this little candle. But that depends. If you took it here, it would have most likely just stayed in, and you could have gotten yourself the little profit first before falling down. But it just depends. Again, these wicks here are showing that there's, both sides pushing it in their own direction, and that's again how you lose your money when you start to go for heavy bets. And that's why I'm also not taking these trades right now, because it's just indeterminate. We don't know where it's going to go. Things are looking so crazy because it's stuff we haven't seen in years. This stuff is so new, and a lot of people are panicking right now. But all I'm telling myself is don't let emotions play a role. Don't think about where XRP is ultimately going to go. Think about the short term. Think about where you think it's going to go right now, so I can decide for myself if I need to buy more or keep my position as it is. Funny enough, though, a lot of the people that called 50 cents today, so that is yesterday, they were kind of right. All right, they were. Honestly speaking, they were kind of right, because we hit 49.9 or 49.8 or something cents. So I don't know who is that godly analyst who knew this for a fact, because I didn't. I mean, I put it up as a guess, but it was still a 50-50 bet. All right, and I that's all I could do here. But somebody who knew it for sure, like our god, Alex Cobb, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess congrats to him, because it did hit 50 cents. For me, it is 1 a.m., so, I mean, if I said it's going to hit 50 cents today, I would have been wrong. But for you guys in America, I think it was still, some other time, maybe like 4 p.m. or something like that. So, yeah, it worked out properly for you, which is, again, very interesting if I take a bigger look at the whole picture. Now, if we actually check down a little bit closer at the 1 hour, it's still looking, though, like we're gonna be testing this zone up a little bit higher. And you can see here there's just a small little difference here between the 50 cent resistance and this next resistance at about 52 or so cent. And funny enough, that little gap is gonna get closer and closer between the next resistances, so to speak, as these 3 cent or so discrepancies, these 3 cent marks, right now are, let's say for example, 7% or so. But if we're already at 60 cents or something like that, 3 cents is just 5%, and that will keep going on. The higher we go, 3 cents will be nothing eventually, and that's really what we're heading towards right now. It's starting to get already a little bit crazy. There's about 6% in the midst here, but I think one determined move, and by the way, RSI is going down whilst we're still trading at the top side of our zone here, which is again another positive thing, because when we first started to enter into the zone, RSI was extremely high. Extremely high at about 85, 86 to even 90. Okay, it didn't hit 90, but about 86.6, which is relatively high or very high. But right now we've already fallen, even though we're still at the top of the range here. Even been above there for a couple of hours right now. Yeah, I'm just bullish, guys. I'm thinking we're going to be seeing 50 cents rather soon here. I saw a lot of guys over on Twitter saying, no, we're going to fall back down, we're going to pull back. It's a guess. Because what we've seen before historically, and that's what I'm basing a lot of this stuff on. I'm not doing this with any TA too much even. I'm just basing this on the history, is that we saw consecutive gains for weeks on end in the 2017 bull run. That's what I'm basing this on. I'm not basing it on anything else, just that. And look at this, guys. Look at the gains we saw here. 4 consecutive huge candles with huge percentages. You can see the first candle was about 220%. The second candle was right around the same thing, I think. Let's quickly press shift if I can. There we go, about 40, 50%. This candle here, about 100%. And then this candle here, about... Am I doing something wrong when I'm pressing shift? What? Press shift. I hold shift now. I'm holding shift, all right? Pressing. Why does it work then if I say that? And we got about 40%. It's kind of a strange thing, right? If you take a look, it looks like... Well, this is as big as the other ones, but this one is actually the craziest. But it went up 250% in 1 week. And if you zoom into the daily, you'll see just a ton of green candles consecutively, which right now we're still nowhere near, right? We're right now nowhere near what we saw back then. And I'm still thinking that all these resistances here, which we're talking about, are still nothing in the bigger picture, which is why I'm telling you guys, don't worry too much about it. Stay chill, all right? Stay chill. Look at the bigger Fibonacci, look at what's coming. 96 cents is the first time you're going to have me being worried or have me really talk some crazy stuff in here. But I think all that we're purchasing out right now is going to be fine for the bigger picture. And a little bit later, I'll talk about why I think some big players are really afraid of XRP right now, as it's going to show a lot of these people that their whole traditional view on trading crypto and their whole traditional view of just holding Bitcoin and that being their one currency might stab them in the back. All right, XRP is looking very juicy. Not even talking emotionally right now. I'm talking just objectively looking at the prices here. I think a lot of these cryptos are going to go to all-time high, and XRP is so far away yet so close. It's going to be good, guys. It's going to be very good. I think most guys in here are also very bullish right now. I don't think many people are telling us to sell. All right, if we scroll to the bottom here, we're actually seeing a lot of people. Damn. Again, though, I'm actually thinking longing and shorting, they both make a lot of sense at this point, which is why I'm saying we should be cautious a little bit. However, this is two sides. Why? Well, I'm saying you should be cautious a little bit because, well, we are in a bull trend right now, and thus going with the trend is better than going against it. True, right? I think you guys can all get that. But we've also extended for a very long while. We've gotten on with these gains for a little while, and people might want to take profit, as they've already gotten about 100% in the last couple of weeks. In a very short amount of time, they got themselves 100% gains. Look at this here. From this point out forward, the 3rd of November, it was 23 cents. Right now it is 44 or something. So literally 100% gains within a very short time frame here. So it's logical that people want to take profit and short, possibly, or something along those lines. However, one thing that's very important to consider is that we have fallen back a couple of times already. And I mean, on a couple of exchanges, we actually hit 50 cents. So from that perspective, we already had quite a steep correction of about 7% or so happen this morning. So can the gains continue on after knowing that? Well, possibly, right? I mean, after falling down 7% or so, it's not that crazy if you start to continue on with the gains again. It could also be that this candle is going to close exactly the way it is, followed by another green one, topping the zone here. Again, I think this 50 is a little bit more superficial. It's more on the surface that it looks heavy, But once the bulls really start to pop on in, it's not going to be as much of a barrier as expected, but that's still to be determined. Yeah, I think the 40, 49 is going to be easy. I think this one might be a little bit heavier at 53. However, as we saw here as well, these fib levels, they're so small in comparison to the bigger picture. This is all just not even close to the first fib from the bigger bull run before. So I don't worry about it. I think all is going to be good. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the situation and how it changed today. I'll be talking more about the real facts and stuff that happened a little bit later. So stay tuned, stay watching, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. There's a ton of stuff coming today, guys.